When automakers look at investment, they're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, and you've got so much uncertainty at the moment in terms of NAFTA, in terms of US-EU trade, in terms of Brexit, in terms of US-China. So they're really having to be cautious at the moment and decide where they're going to put their money for the long term. So I think we're definitely seeing investment in the US, in Europe, being that bit more cautious than they would be.
And the supply chain, of course, is absolutely critical here. How badly, at this early stage, Anna-Marie, is it being squeezed? And is this adding to cost pressures? And what are the implications then going forward for margins at the automakers?
It definitely is adding to cost pressures. I mean, we saw General Motors saying this was going to be a consideration in their earnings. Perhaps ironically that this was meant to help American companies. You were saying earlier Honda says it's going to have more of a muted impact on their earnings, but it's actually hurting GM, which is in the US. And we talk a lot about the steel prices, aluminium as well. A lot more of that is imported, so that's going to hurt companies as well. So this is going to as well impact the component supplier. So it's going to be this ripple effect throughout the supply chain. So by the time it actually gets to car makers, it's really going to be hurting them. And obviously that will have to be passed on to the consumers at a time when, as you were just saying, the market's already slowing and plateauing in the US.
Worst case, if the Trump administration does decide to back out of the US-EU tariff deal and impose tariffs on imported vehicles, what does it mean for the sector, and what are the repercussions for the dealerships and the consumers?
Well, this is the sort of thing that would have global implications if he did decide that, any cars from outside of the US would have to carry tariffs. The industry's become so globalized over the last few years, and mostly because of past experiences, things like the recession. You've learned to really globalize your supply chain and maximize your cost benefits. And this is now going to start hurting when something that globalized could be introduced. So, for example, already we're seeing if you could be a German manufacturer, but if you're producing in the US for export to China, then US-China trade tensions are hurting you, even though you're a European company. So this is having so much more of a global impact.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.